Hello, everyone. We're on the campus of UCLA here in Westwood, California, and we interviewed a young man who received a football scholarship coming out of Long Beach Poly High School, and he is a football player here at UCLA. He's a sophomore, and he's had to make some tremendous adjustments, both socially, academically, and football-wise on this campus. His name is Terrence Austin, and he is quite a young man. Today we want to talk about the adjustments he's had to make here at UCLA, being a football player and also a student. Terrence, why don't you come on in here and want to talk? 2 years ago, we interviewed you on All Sides, and you had just received a football scholarship at UCLA. I'm sure an adjustment had to be made coming from Long Beach to UCLA. What kind of challenges have you faced in these 2 years?
Well, first of all, I think that the biggest asset was me just coming here, being on my own, away from my parents. My dad was always around, and UCLA is not that far, but it gave me a chance to kind of grow up on my own. And another thing that I think that was a lot different was the population here at UCLA. Here it's like about 44,000 students, and at Long Beach Poly it was 4,400. So. It's pretty good. I got a chance to socialize with a lot of people here, and it's a diverse campus, and it's all different kinds of people here, different personalities, and it was just different. It was just different.
Socially, you mentioned earlier that you don't have to report in at home all the time, and your first time away from home a couple of years, you were on your own. What were some of the interesting things, realizing that you're talking to high school students, middle school students who want to be in the same position you are, many of them, from football-wise as well as academically? Tell us some of the challenges socially that you had to go through.
Well, socially, like you mentioned, I wasn't up under my parents at all. In college, you're on your own. So I remember sitting at home, and I realized that my parents had to realize I was going to school, and I would get up, and they would see me actually going, and that would make me be inspired to go to class. And here on campus, it's like nobody's there pushing you at all. For granted, I am on the football team, and I'm verbatim, I'm supposed to be doing that. But it's like an urge for you to not want to get out of bed in the morning. And, I don't have anybody making me do nothing. It's on my own, and I have to step up and be a man about things on my own, and I have to go ahead and proceed to going to class and getting up and doing homework. I'm forcing myself to do that. No one else is doing that.
Now, from an academic standpoint, you were a pretty good student at Long Beach Poly High School. I'm sure that going into a study hall with 50, 60 students, if not more, being a good manager of your time. Talk to the young kids in terms of what you had to do from an academic standpoint. I'm sure it was much more challenging than it was at Poly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. At Long Beach Poly, I was in an accelerated program, and, when I got here, I think that prepared me when I got here for UCLA. But at the same time, you have different professors, and they don't teach the same way in high school. I know that in high school, a lot of teachers are forced to teach the same way, but here it's like, a professor's going to put out a lecture, and you're going to have to take notes. And, if you don't get what the professor is saying, you have to go meet with him in office hours. And in high school, it's a little different. You pretty much have that opportunity because the teachers give you that chance. But here in college, it's like you're all on your own. And, when the professor is putting something out there, he doesn't give you the chance to try to get it twice. It's sometimes it's only one chance you get to get the whole lecture down. So I think that the difference between the two is that you're pretty much on your own. Like I said, socially, you're pretty much on your own. Everybody's fending for themselves, and you just have to grow up and realize that if you want to get something, you really have to take the chance to go ahead and get it.
Let's talk about time management. At a public high school, you go to class from 8 until 2 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Here, it's much different. You may have a class at 8 o'clock, and you may not have another one at 2 o'clock. What do you do between 8 and 2 and realizing you had a football commitment to make as well?
Mm-hmm. Well, like now I'm having workouts in the morning, and I have set up you get to set up your schedule on your own. You get to pick the different classes that you want, and you get to set up a time in between whether you want to rest or you want to use that time to study, or you just need to kick back and take a break maybe. So I think for me, the thing that I did was I realized that I had to work in the morning. So I wanted to make sure I worked and I'd be able to eat, and then I'd be able to have time to study before my next class, or if I have to set an appointment with my professor, if I have to go to office hours, or either I just have to go meet with my mentor to try to get some tips on what I got to do as far as time management. So it's set up all different kind of ways. You can make the choice on whether you want to be relaxed in the morning, or you want to take the heavy load in the morning, or take the heavy load at night. And then you got tutoring too for different kind of days. So if you want to make tutoring earlier for you, you can do that. Or if you want to make it later, you can do that too. So it's just time management is built on your own schedule, and you have to make sure that you are building that upon to what your schedule is like as far as the load that you're taking with football. I know that for me, myself.
Now, let's talk about career. I'm sure you have a career that you want to endeavor into. Tell us about that and the steps that you're taking to achieve that knowing that you want a BA out of UCLA. But what is your major right now?
Right now, I haven't declared yet, but I have to the end of this year to declare, and I'm thinking about majoring in sociology and minoring in communications. So it's a lot of different classes that take my interest, and I think that's the thing. When you get to college, you want to major in something that you're interested in, because if you're not, you won't have that much of a drive to trying to study, or you will be bored with what you have. So sociology and communications is pretty interesting to me, and I can find myself, as far as the branch of communications, I can see myself doing something like broadcasting or communicating. I'm a people person. I can do stuff like that. So yeah.